Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time from Yule. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, this is for a film called Vanguard, which I don't think I had heard of, or I thought I did, but I think I got confused with another movie. But this is a Jackie Chan film from 2020, and it was directed by Stanley Tong. Now, for those action fans, if that name seems familiar, he directed Rumble in the Bronx, which, hell, that was the film that got me into Jackie Chan films, was Rumble in the Bronx. Police Story 3, known as Super Cop. Police Story 4, known as Jackie Chan's First Strike. So this guy directed some of my favorite Jackie Chan films. I mean, hell, if he had directed Operation Condor, I would say he directed all of my favorite Jackie Chan films. There's other ones I enjoy more, but those are like the top of the top for me. Other than I like Rush Hour, Rush Hour 2, and other stuff. But Jackie Chan, he's front and center on the poster. He's not really the star of it. I'm not going to sit here and say he's in it for like 5 minutes. No, but he has a couple little fight scenes. Uh, he's here and there. The plot, the dialogue, the action scenes, they all pretty stunk up the joint. There's a reason why this gets a 4.7 on IMDb. And you know what? Yeah, IMDb is not always right. A lot of times it's full of shit as I move this microphone so I'm not screaming in your ear. But goddamn, this is right. This is understandable why this is the case here. Now, Vanguard is the international security company. There's this guy who is this accountant, and these terrorists, very, very typical, stereotypical Arab terrorists. They want the accountant, just something about financing their war, their weapons. The son of a terrorist who died wants the money, wants to kidnap this guy, ready to kidnap the guy and his wife, and the Vanguard security team rescues him. So then Jackie Chan and some others have to go to Africa to get the guy's daughter, because that's where the terrorists are going to get next. And then after a certain amount of sequences, she gets taken, they have to rescue her, the dad gives himself up, they gotta go rescue the dad, storm this fortress, the movie ends. The dialogue, like I said, is pretty awful. I mean, one of the early lines of the terrorist is, he's finally slithered out of his cave. Like typical stuff or lame, generic stuff that you hear in quite a few movies. There's a lot of green screen CGI, and let's be honest, we don't want to see that in a Jackie Chan film. Granted, Jackie Chan's getting older. I think that's easily why you're seeing him more and more with younger people around him. Because he did do some fights, but he can't be as apparent as before, so you get all these other younger people doing more of the fights, more of the stuff, to either add more action or to let Jackie Chan ease up because he can't do as much as he could before. That's just age. Just how it is. People get older, broken bones, all that stuff. You can't do that stuff forever. And like I said, there's some really bad, terrible CGI in this. Quite a bit of it. From the establishing shot of the daughter in Africa, she's in a Jeep, and Africa behind her is clearly a green screen, to when they're in Africa, there's a lion that at one point looks like an asylum level lion. Like when we see the girl interact with the lion, it's pretty bad, because the daughter, I don't know how old she is, 20 some. She goes to hug the lion, but I swear one of her hands goes through the lion's head. Maybe it's the mimic going through the fur, but I swear it's, how do I put it? If she's over here and it's this hand, she goes to it. I swear it's like, like, did she pass through, phase through the lion's head? But especially when The terrorists are there trying to get the girl. Jackie and two others are there. They fight a few of the bad guys. And this CGI lion idea out of an asylum film comes out, and it looks like fucking garbage. Absolute fucking garbage. And then later on, the bad guys use either the bad guys or the poachers that work with the bad guys. They're using these hyenas, and they look fucking terrible. I mean, fucking terrible. I mean, there's a scene with a river chase where some are on boats and other equipment, and you see behind the scenes at the end of the film in the end credits that they did film on a river, but it's a very shallow river because you see other people around filming it, and it almost looks like you just stand up in it. So it seemed like they did film, but they added a lot more CGI around it to make it a lot more of a roaring rapids than it really was. And that's the thing. So you've seen these other characters, and then a little bit of Jackie in one boat, and Jackie jumps from one to the other, but it's clearly CGI, clearly green screen. Jackie gets like a boat jet ski as going over the rapids, but you can tell the whole thing is CGI, and it's just not. That's not what we saw Jackie Chan films for. At least for me, back in the day. We didn't see Jackie Chan films to see a bunch of crappy looking CGI. This seemed like it wanted to be its own Mission Impossible, and Mission Impossible films did it better. And as much as I don't like, I'm not, okay, Mission Impossible, I love the first one. Second one, not big on it, I'd rather watch that than this. Third one, I like. Ghost Protocol, the fourth one, a lot of people loved it, I didn't care for it. I'd rather watch that than this one though. Because at least that budget, for the most part, makes it a better aesthetically looking movie compared to this. Road Nation, really good. Fallout, really good. Curious about the new ones because other than The Mummy, Tom Cruise has had a pretty good track record of recent. Love Edge of Tomorrow. I didn't mind Top Gun Maverick. It was okay. Really like the last couple Mission Impossible films. Didn't mind Oblivion. So again, at least if you're going to do all that spectacle, you gotta have the budget behind it. Here, they did not have the budget behind it. They just wanted to create some bits of spectacle. Hell, there's all these characters, a Jackie Chan's team, I could not tell you anything about the characters. One has a kid, and I only know that because they forced Chinese propaganda down your throat in this, of how great China is, and it ends with the Chinese New Year, and how China, just fuck Hong Kong, apparently. And then, what was the line? I'll take Captain Chinese over Captain America. That was the fucking line. Now, hey, I get it. You're proud of your country. I would be very proud of my country too, as I am. As flawed as we are, I'm proud to be American. As flawed as we are. Just like you're proud of your country. Because you just how it is. But at the same time, if I said, I'm going to share another country, people will look at me funny though. You sure you want to do that? You sure want to say that line? You sure about that, buddy? You sure? And they would definitely call me out on it. And that's the thing with Jackie Chan. I don't know what's going on with him. I know he used to make films for Hong Kong. He used to be very pro Hong Kong. Now he's against Hong Kong being separate. I don't know the whole deal. There's stories that they're forcing him to do it because of what happened with his son. Something about his son got arrested, and pretty much Jackie had to play ball. Otherwise his son would get really fucked over. Or the Chinese really have him up the ass, where they'll take his money, his house, everything is like very controlled. He has to do what they say. I don't know what the whole deal is. I know if you ask a lot of Hong Kong people, they hate Jackie Chan's ass now because talk about how much he sold out. I don't know all about, and I don't know what's going on. If the Chinese government has Jackie Chan over a barrel because of the end of his son, although I've heard some bad things about Jackie Chan. Number one, he's talked shit about America quite a bit as well, about how we're the most corrupt country, and I'm like, Jackie, isn't the Chinese government fucking with you? I don't remember the American government fucking with you. Isn't the Chinese government fucking with you? But, just saying. Just saying. We're so corrupt, but you're so gun-ho to make it in America. Just saying. I have nothing against China. I have nothing against the Chinese folks. I just don't know what your government's doing, just like I'm sure they don't know what our government's doing. Because I don't know what anybody's government is doing. I think everybody's government is fucking up for their respective audiences and general population. Sally, it's just the governments that fucked everything up for everybody. But I've also heard that he just completely ignores his kids. And if that's true, I don't know what the fuck the deal is with that. Like I said, I don't know for certain, so I'm just spitballing here. The reason I spitball and go on these tangents is for people in the comments to talk and converse and have conversations. That's a lot of times why I go on these tangents. Stick on the fucking tangent. Well, it is like having a conversation with folks, and if people want to have a conversation in the comments, be my guest. That's what the comments there are for. At least that's what I thought. But to get back to the film, if I can't tell you three things about any of these characters, their fight scenes, at times it's a bit shaky and a bit hyperkinetic in editing. I know some person said it's not quite Taken 2, Taken 3 levels, but it's just, I don't know, just a bit too shaky for my liking. And even then, the fight scenes are nothing to run home about. The few that Jackie Chan did in, he does a little bit of here and there. At one point, he fights someone with a baton. At one point, God, it's even tough to remember now. Oh, with a gun. Like, he grabs a guy, shoots some people. Another guy, he takes the guy out of his hand, smacks the guy with the gun, and the guy falls to the water. Like, little bits here and there, so that more of the younger team have their moments to be showcased. Hell, there's a guy on a fucking hoverboard. Kind of like, remember Highlander 2 or Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren? When he had the scenes on those hoverboard things. And of course, Back to the Future 2. Those things don't work on water unless you have power. You have a fucking hoverboard, and it looks awful. I mean, fuck. Highlander 2 looked better in terms of hoverboard effects, and Back to the Future 2 looked better than this. See? Allergic to that bullshit. It looked fucking goofy. I know it was not Jackie Chan on the hoverboard. It was some, I forget what the name, his character's name was. Because like I said, the way the movie is, it's guy and his wife ready to be kidnapped. Some people fight some bad guys. Then finally Jackie Chan arrives. Like I said, he doesn't do a whole lot. He's not the main focus. He's like there, but he has little moments here and there. Yes, you have the scenes in Africa. You have the lion. You have the hyena. You have the river chase. Then they're trying to get the daughter. Oh yeah, there's also a scene where they have CGI bees out of fucking Richie Rich, like Robo Bee. Literally, because of their security protocol, whatever they have for their security company, they have the budget, the time, the technology. They have Robo Bees, bee surveillance. I never thought a fucking film like this remind me of Richie Rich. And Richie Rich to me is a better movie than this. Even like certain car chases, they inflict CGI. Early on, there's a limo, and when the limo like swerves into the road, that was CGI help, CGI manipulation. Other car chases, there's some practical, but then there's sometimes where people did flip over. You tell the CGI enhancement in there. I'm not saying the entire beginning the end is CG, but CG enhancements. The bad guys, the Arabs, have these gold cars made of gold, idea, or they're gold cars, and there's a lot of CG in that as well. At one point, they go into a shopping mall, and yeah, bad CG crashes. And in the shopping mall, I think, oh, Jackie Chan in a shopping mall. Last time I think of that is either like Mr. Nice Guy, because that's when he was characters doing a cooking show, and I think it was in a mall, or before that, your Police Story. No, there's nothing to this ending. Like, I'm like, that's the ending. Like they go into it, and Jackie's fighting the guy a little bit, makes the bad guy, who's this Middle Eastern prince, shoot his own leg. He's like, why'd you shoot your own leg? Someone. I'm dumbfounded because I'm sitting there going, I guess he put a lot of stock in that it was gold cars driving around and some CG crashes and the guy with the hoverboard running, flying around. I'm like, this is what they thought was such an exciting, great finale? Fuck, I got more excitement from Jackie Chan's The Accidental Spy finale. And that's a film no one, well, very rarely anyone remembers. It shows that Stanley Tong and Jackie Chan, like a lot of people, are way, way far from their heyday. They're trying to do what they did back in the day, but either because of budget, because of overusage of CGI, because of age on Jackie Chan's part. And what's sad is this is a film where Jackie almost died. Because there's a scene where he's on like a jet ski or something with a girl, and they tip over, and Jackie doesn't pop up because he almost drowned. And they got him, and I guess when they fell, something went wrong, and he almost drowned on it. And I'm like, this Jackie, making film like this isn't worth your safety. I don't know how you are as a person. You may not like America, but I still liked a lot of your movies. Oh well. The whole thing between you and Hong Kong, I don't know what's going on with that. 100%. But don't die. Especially for a shitty movie like this. It is a shitty movie. It's a shitty film. I mean, the last Jackie Chan film I enjoyed was Skip Trace. Directed by Rennie Harlin, starring Johnny Knoxville and Jackie Chan. That was a fun movie. Yes, there was bits of CG, but not as much as this. I saw a lot more of Jackie Chan doing his own thing. Rennie Harlin, I thought, did a better job directing compared to what Stanley Tong did in this. And I don't know what Skip Trace gets. I don't think that gets a high rating. I guess I had to look that up real quick if it allows me. But listen, I know this film gets a 4.7 on IMDb, and it deserves it. It deserves it. So sorry about this, folks. I know. I'm just curious. But other than that, you don't get much development on the characters of the team. I don't think there's really enough unique personality between each of them to really make them stand out. Like I said, other than one having a daughter, I can't tell you much of anything. I can't tell you much about them. Like I said, the action scenes were poorly handled with too much. 5.6, okay. 5.6 compared to 4.7. I think it's better than a 5.6, but that's definitely higher than this movie. But, Skip Trace, I think, is a pretty damn decent one. This If you want to see, again, Chinese propaganda and very, very over the top stereotypical Arab terrorists and over saturation of CGI during action scenes and some of the fights that you see done better in a multitude of other movies. There's no point to that, at least to me. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later.